Do you struggle coming up with ideas for your videos? Is it hard to think of new content ideas and to stay ahead of the game? Or do you even plan your content at all? Do you wait until the last minute and rack your brain trying to think of ideas for videos? I've done it both ways, and honestly, it sucks not planning and staying ahead of your content. In this video, I'm gonna help you plan your content ahead of time so you're not scrambling every time you have to make a video. And the best part? You can map out months or even an entire year in a day or less, depending on how adventurous you get. Hi friend, I'm Magnuson, and I help businesses and entrepreneurs create better videos and use those videos to help grow their business. Now, if you're new here, consider subscribing so you don't miss my weekly videos. Planning ahead like this can save you a lot of time, even though it feels like it takes more time up front. In the end, it saves you a lot of time because you can batch all of these activities. You can sit down and hammer out your ideas. Then you can sit down and hammer out your plan and your scripting or outlines. And then you can batch film and you can knock out all this stuff in short, focused time intervals and then have a lot of time to devote to other things. Planning ahead like this helps you be more efficient. Now, it also helps you be more effective. And the difference is you can be efficient at the wrong things, so you're not being effective. So it's important to be both efficient and effective. And planning ahead can help you stay effective because it forces you to think ahead, it forces you to plan and consider the types of videos and the type of content that you need to be making to help your brand grow, more importantly, to help your audience grow, because helping your audience grow actually helps your brand grow. So if you focus on the audience, the other part takes care of itself. And by forcing yourself to plan ahead and really think through the content you want to create, you won't just be making videos efficiently, you'll be making the right videos efficiently and aligning with your strategy. You can leave yourself some wiggle room. You don't have to plan out every single video for the whole year, but the more that you plan, the more freedom it gives you to then do additional things and bonus things and work on other projects. I help clients do this. We create video strategy and we'll map out 6 months, even a whole year's worth of content. But when it came down to my own videos, I found myself doing them a few at a time because I don't have to hire a crew to do all my filming and editing. And I used it as an excuse to not plan ahead and get ahead of this thing. So when I recently went on a trip with my family, I found myself scrambling to have my content covered. I ended up taking a couple weeks off so I can reevaluate and realign myself with my priorities and what I need to be focusing on and doing for myself what I do for other people. The first thing I want you to do is to brainstorm some ideas for categories or buckets or whatever you want to call them for your content. So whatever your niche is, or niche, depending on where you're from and how people say it. Open up a Google Sheet or a spreadsheet or whatever you like to use and create some buckets, some categories for your content. Try to get at least 4 or 5. You don't want too many, and sometimes you can get a little too granular, so try to stay a little bit more high level, just kind of some broad buckets so that you can make sure that you're covering different topics evenly throughout the year. Otherwise, it gets easy to default to certain types of content, and then you're gonna have a lot more videos on that topic and not as many on some other topics that maybe you need to be covering. So by having these buckets, you can make sure that you have enough of different videos within each bucket to make sure that you're evenly spacing out the types of content that you're creating. Now mine's evolved a little bit and yours will too as you work on this, but at the moment I have an audio bucket, a video bucket, a YouTube tactics bucket, a gear bucket, and every video that I make falls into one of those buckets. So take a few minutes right now. It might take 5, might take 10, might take an hour, I don't know. Just pause this video if you have to and think about how you can categorize and divvy up the types of content that you make. All right, now that you have your buckets, open up a new tab in your spreadsheet and let's start coming up with ideas for each category. So maybe you make a column for each bucket or category. Maybe you make chunks of rows for each category. It doesn't really matter, just whatever works for your brain. Everybody's different with how they process information. But start coming up with ideas for topics you can talk about for each bucket. Sometimes it can take a little bit to kind of get your wheels greased and get things going, but usually you'll get a little bit of momentum and then you can crank out way more than you even thought you could just by getting some ideas, whether they're good or bad. Just get stuff down and see where it takes you. When you're brainstorming ideas, don't worry about getting it perfect, okay? Just get ideas down and move on. If you get stuck in one bucket, move on to the next bucket and start working on ideas for that. You can always come back later and start refining it and start adding more keywords and really hone in on what that title is going to be for that video. Now, if you need ideas, I would suggest going to Google or YouTube and just start searching for it, and you'll start to see other ideas pop up. You'll start to see other videos, and not that you ever want to copy someone else, but just realize there's really nothing new under the sun. Just take ideas and concepts and put your twist on it. Share your thoughts, your opinion, because your experience matters and your point of view matters, and you can talk about something even if other people are talking about it too. Just make sure that it's your spin and your ideas. Here's where I would also suggest reaching out to your audience. So whether you have an Instagram following, Facebook following, YouTube following, or wherever, email list, wherever you have an audience, send out some kind of survey or just a simple message saying, hey, what are some of your biggest pain points and frustrations right now? What are some things you want to learn more about? And what are some of your biggest hopes and dreams on topic whatever? Just try to get a discussion going with some of your audience, and it can give you some ideas for videos that you can make. Now, what's cool about this is if you want to map out an entire year, and let's just assume you're doing one video a week. Now, if you're doing more than that, maybe you do this process for one video a week, and the other video you do could be more of a vlog or a different kind of style, less scripted, less produced. Or if you want to do it all and do multiple videos a week, go for it. The process is the same. You just have to create more. If you wanted to do an entire year's worth of content, and let's say you have 5 buckets, you only have to come up with 10 ideas for each bucket. That's 50 videos. In the other 2 weeks, you can just do whatever you want, or it leaves you a little wiggle room to just do whatever's on your mind or your heart at that time, or you can take a couple weeks off if you want. Now, if you only want to plan 6 months, you only have to come up with 5 or 6 videos per bucket. Or if you only want to do 3 months, then you only have to come up with 2 or 3 videos per bucket. If you've been creating content for a while and have analytics you can pull, start looking at what topics were most popular, what blog posts got the most clicks, what videos got the most views and the most watch time, what social media posts got the most reaction, most engagement. Just go through and see what really resonated with your audience and do more content on that. You don't just do the content over, but you can take another spin on it, or you can go a little deeper, or maybe cover a different angle or a related concept on that same topic. Once you've got the bulk of your list done, it's time to start refining it. One of my favorite things to do is pull up TubeBuddy, and I already did a video on TubeBuddy, so you can check that out if you want, and start honing in on your exact title and keywords that you want to target for the video. You definitely want to talk about stuff that you want to talk about or that your audience wants you to talk about, but you always want to try to put some SEO strategy in there to make sure that new people can find you. And I also find that how I title my video influences how I script and outline and ultimately film the video, so it's important to get that title first. And it's especially important if you have other people on your team who do your outlining or filming or whatever. Once you've got your list refined, now you can start moving things around and planning out the order of the videos that you want to release so that you're not releasing the same types of videos week after week. Now, you're not stuck to this plan. You can change it at any point, but I find it really helpful to have a basic idea of what I think I want to do, and I can refine it as I go. Once you have this list done, now you can start pulling from it when it comes time to plan your videos, to do your outlines or scripts or whatever you do to plan your videos. I like to do it in chunks because you kind of get on a roll and you get into that scripting groove and you can knock out several in a row. So it's nice to sit down for a couple hours and just knock out a whole bunch of them. And then the real magic happens when it comes time to film. You've got all this content planned, outlined, and now you can film it and knock a bunch of it out in a short amount of time. I know planning this much content at once can seem overwhelming, but once you get into it, it's really not that bad. It'll help you stay consistent with your posting schedule. It'll help you make the right content and make it efficiently, effectively, and ultimately makes your life simpler. Give it a shot. If you're not ready to do a year's worth of content or 6 months, just try 1 month or 2 months. And see how it goes. I think you'll get into a rhythm and you'll like how it feels to get that momentum going on your content planning. If you're new to this whole content creation thing and you're not sure how to make your business grow with it, I created a blueprint that spells out exactly what you have to do to use videos to help your business grow. Go to glacierrockmedia.com/blueprint and get your free copy today. I hope you found this video helpful and valuable. If you did, please hit that like button. It really helps me be found by more people. And also, if you know someone who would benefit from this information, please share it with them. I'd love to help as many people as I can make better videos and grow their business. That's all I had for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Oh, gotta turn the air conditioning off. Or do you wait until the last minute and rack your brain? You can map out months or even a whole year. And why can I not remember that? Let's not burp on camera. Oh, I didn't know. Here's where I would also should only 2 or 3 videos per that almost sounded bad.